Okay, Leo, how are you doing? Probably look ridiculous, but I don't care. It's cold, and the space heater is too loud to have it running while I do the readings. And I may need to pause and let the dogs back in if they start, barking at leaves and stuff. But right now they are out in the sun. They're out in the sun, out in that Leo energy, getting that electric, the electron charge, so I can borrow some later. We have the Fool and the Lovers. And on my walk, I was walking errands earlier, and when I was walking, I saw, I divine through garbage and things that I see around me. And I saw a natural light, right? And so it's like you could be in a very literally cold space. I mean, tis the season, but I feel like you could be in a place that is maybe your heart chakra, where the sun and the solar plexus, your breath, you feel very cold. And you know how when you go out in the cold and the wind is kind of knocked out of you? So if you're new to trying to date, or maybe you are meeting somebody new that's going to kind of knock the wind out of you like the cold does, and it makes you feel, once you get moving in the cold, you're fine. Your body warms itself up. You become your own natural light, and your own heat source. It comes from your core. It comes from that molten core that we have within us. But energetically, emotionally, same thing. It's like once you get into something, your fears are conquered. Once you kind of start going through the motions, it's like, oh, okay, I know how to do this. There's a muscle memory. There's a energetic memory of this. And so you may have an experience or be currently in a space where you're maybe coming out of hermit mode. You could be dealing with a Virgo, but trying to get out into the world, trying to socialize again, trying to do something that's new or feels new, because it maybe has been a long time since you've done it before. We got the Tower, Five of Wands. But I think that it's something that's actually old to you. You know how to do this. You know how to socialize. You guys are social. You guys are friendly. You guys are warm, right? So it's in your nature to be the light source for other people, but maybe your light has been dimmed for a while because you've been reclusive, you've been in your hermit mode, you had an experience that made you retract and kind of knock the wind out of you, and so you had to kind of remember how to breathe. And then right after that, I was pondering on that, and I saw natty ice, natural ice right after that. Yeah, I live in a place with a lot of alcoholics who are also disrespectful of the environment. Shocker. But there was a natty ice. So I get that, like, your natural light feels very cold, but it's like, what is it? Encino Man, right? And Brendan Fraser is a Sagittarius. You could have a placement or dealing with a Sagittarius. Also, we're in Sagittarius season, so tis the season again. This could be the season that you're thawing out a little bit, right? You're sort of, usually I grab these first. So let's see what's going on with where the feminine in this connection is. Oh, we got the Empress right at the center. So if you're whichever you identify with, the divine masculine and divine feminine. This is the divine feminine is Nine of Cups, Empress, and the Eight of Swords. Not the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Wands. I'm getting, there's this sort of, which wands are about passion, fire is about passion. It's about your fuel source, right? I also saw a empty crushed gas tank on the side of the road, which did feel kind of like running on empty, like your fuel source, your internal light, your natural light, is maybe shining, or maybe, you know, because you guys can be quite glamorous, you know, as the sun is the center of the solar system. So you could feel like right, with the 8 of Wands, it's like making a new cycle, a new way of doing things. And it is like getting back to your nature, right? Like getting it down to the bare earth, like getting all the pretense away, getting all of the glamour away. And it's like your natural light is the most appealing thing about you. The Empress is this is Taurus and Libra, right? This is very sort of, and there they go. Very grounded, very nurturing. It's a very feminine, it's the divine feminine, right? And so it's like getting into your natural earthy type energy. Maybe you're dealing with the Taurus, because I am getting more of the earth aspect than the swords. But I did call this 8 of Wands 8 of Swords. And so it feels kind of like your fuel source is cold. There's a coldness there, which is more of the Queen of Swords. So that's the Libra aspect of this, Libra and Aquarius. Queen of Swords is someone who has their hand open, they're ready to receive, right? The Empress gets a lot of offers. The Queen of Swords is sort of like the drawbridge to the empire. If we're thinking about this person, this individual as a structure, right? Of like an empire or a castle. It's like the Queen of Swords, there could be some guarded energy. There could be a sort of reluctance to lower the drawbridge, right? And the drawbridge is usually made of wood, right? It's made of wood and metal and earthy, you know, earth-based materials. So there's this, if you're the feminine and you feel like you're more in the Queen of Swords, right? Like your Queen of Swords is guarding, but they do have their hand open. So they have a sword, they're ready to cut out anything that doesn't serve them, but they're still receptive. There could be a sort of reluctance there to have your hand out, to ask to receive. So you could also be having a hard time asking for help. If you've been doing everything yourself, and you could be in like a hyper independent place, but love is help. It's divine assistance for your path. And so, you know, accepting that can be difficult. With the 9 of Cups, this is wish fulfillment, but 9s are also about independence. So yeah, you could be kind of like granting your own wishes for so long, but the real wish that you actually have buried inside that molten core that needs to be thawed out and brought back to life and re-inspired is to have help and to have that divine assistance and divine love. And, you know, that's really your wish. The film, A Little Bit of Heaven, with Kate Hudson, and I can't remember his name, but Peter Dinklage is also in there. But she's diagnosed with cancer, which is, she's diagnosed with colon cancer, which is like the root chakra. That's about releasing, right? Like when we hold a lot in and we're not eliminating, we're not letting go and letting God, we're not letting the divine timing, the divine process work itself out. We get blockages in our root, inevitably in the rest of our chakras. Our whole system, like a plumbing system, will get backed up. And so it's like this need to let go and let God and just let it happen. You could be very hyper independent, and you are a fixed sign. So if this is your side of the story, you know, there's a need to release. Now, when she's under getting her examination, she talks to Whoopi Goldberg as God. That's her God, right? That's just how she imagined God, I guess. and she gets 3 wishes. All right. And so, immediately she's like, I want $1 million. I want to fly. She asked for kind of like, grandiose things that, but very like tangible, superficial things really. And then she can't think of her 3rd wish. Right. And that's where the love story ensues. Right. And so it's like, there's a need to be honest with yourself as the feminine to maybe acknowledge that this is what I actually want. I want love. People advocate, I'll say society advocates for hyper independence, and you see it a lot. And yes, you need to love yourself first. Yes, you need to be okay in solitude and be okay with yourself. And learn to fill your own cup. That's this right here. Learning to fill your own cup and to be independent, because you're not guaranteed a union, and you're not guaranteed that that union will last. And there are going to be times, we're brought into this world and we leave this world. We can be surrounded by people, but it's really between us and God. It's really between us and the divine in that moment of incarnation and the moment of birth and the moment of death, right? And that's the divine masculine, divine feminine, and the divine creation, right? It's the Holy Trinity. And so when it comes to the me, myself, and I, body, mind, and spirit, whatever you view as or relate to your personal Holy Trinity, your personal God, whatever you see God as, whatever that source connection you have is, that does need to be nurtured in solitude. That is only between you and source. But we did incarnate here for a reason. And I feel that your reason is to find love. I believe that that's what all the cycle breakers have come here to do, is to come into union so that they can shift the frequency of the collective. And it's, you can't do it alone. You can try and you can do well enough, but I feel like your core is never going to be satisfied. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the Fool here. It's time to take the next step. It's time to open up and release. All right, so let's talk about the masculine's energy in reference to this feminine, because the feminine is in Empress mode, but I do feel like there's a little bit of a and maybe because we have the 9 of Cups, wish fulfillment, we have them doing the work. I just saw it as the 8 of Swords, but which is anxiety and fear and sleepless nights. But this is the Empress here at the center here. So the feminine actually has some very balanced, motivated, breaking the cycle here with the 8 and the 9 of Cups as wish fulfillment. So maybe the masculine just views the feminine as this. And so it could be their own fears that they're projecting onto the feminine. So let's talk about that masculine. We have the 7 of Cups on that Empress. I feel like the masculine feels like this feminine has a lot of options, which the Empress typically does. But the Empress is only concerned with or interested in an Emperor. That's how they got to the Empress mode. 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, somebody feels, the masculine seems to be feeling like they don't have enough. Maybe they feel like they don't, there's Pentacles here, so maybe they don't feel like they have enough to offer them in the real world, right? But like in A Little Bit of Heaven, right? She wished for $1 million. She's got $1 million. She can fly. Like, she can do all of the things for herself in earth, right? Money, and then flying is the swords. So there's something between that balance point between air and earth, head and heart. It's like this feminine may have everything logically, but they don't have the thing that they need most, which is that heater. They need that heater, right? So if you're the masculine Leo, they're looking for their sun. They want their son. They're looking for their sun to ignite their core, right? What is that? I think it's The Core, the movie The Core, where they have to like put bombs in the core because it stops spinning. Is that? I know there is a movie The Core. I'm just not sure if that storyline is the same thing, but it makes sense that it would be. But yeah, they have to like light bombs, and I don't remember how many there are. Maybe it is 8. I could just be making that up, to get the core moving again, right? Because the core has stopped moving. It's kind of frozen, mobility-wise or momentum-wise. And it's so cold. I'm such a weenie. I do not like the cold. I mean, if I have a fireplace or if there's snow outside, at least the cold makes sense, but I live in Florida and it's just in the 30s and 40s for no damn reason. And it looks exactly the same outside. And I just hate it. I hate it so much, but enough about me. So to clarify this 8 of Wands, we have the Knight of Wands. So this could be, the feminine is, you know, hacking down all of these wands. Can be also like phallic symbols. They can be lovers and casual connections. And so it could be a bunch of pages that they're like Queen of Swordsing out with their scythe, their sling blade. And so it's like they're cutting all of those out. They don't want that. They're looking for, it's like they're trying to find that needle in the haystack sort of thing. They're searching for the one. They're searching for their person. Now this is that hyper independence. Like, where are you? There could be a little bit of impatience there, because look at this sort of determination that she has. You could be dealing with a Libra. Crows and ravens are the Native American zodiac for Libra. Maybe something around Libra season, could have a Libra placement. But Libra is karma. Libra is balance. And it's that justice coming in. It's like karmic justice coming in with a message. And she's not even looking at that. So if you're the feminine, this message from the masculine is going to be unexpected. But we have this Knight of Wands that's coming in to bring you a little bit of light. Could be Sagittarius again, or this, if this is the masculine, Leo, could be a fire sign. Could just be somebody who's very warm and playful and light, because the Knights they are determined, they are direct, they have a mission, they fight for their mission. They're not just a page. You know, it's like there's somebody who's going to put in the work, right? A knight will like, you know, honor, and their kingdom is above all. It's above their own life. You know, they're like a soldier of whatever kingdom they're at. And so they are going to fight to the death, right? Like, you know, so the death may be something with Scorpio placements, another fixed sign, and then maybe something in Scorpio season that we just got out of. So we have the 7 of Cups. This is, the masculine could have a lot of options, right? And maybe the feminine is waiting on the masculine, because the masculine is still like evaluating options, which this is a self-worth issue here. When somebody has all these options and they're indecisive, when somebody is not fixed in their, you know, fixed energy is earth energy, it's determination. It's the dedication, it's the discipline that it takes to walk the path that they have chosen. And that a lot of times, if they're in a shadow aspect, they'll stick to that, and that can be stubborn. That can be the fixed aspect of being just on that path because I chose it, because it's the path I'm on and I'm going to do it till I die. But they could also be, but if they're aligned with the divine, then it's the discipline leads to the discernment. The discernment is the ability to choose. That's immutable energy, right? You could have a mutable sign placement. Could be dealing with a mutable sign. We did say Virgo at the beginning. But this is, the shadow aspect of this is, if the masculine doesn't feel like they have enough, then this is where there's a tendency to settle. There's a tendency to go, you know what, I don't think I have enough for this. It's like if you're shopping, and you don't have enough money to, or say you're like at Chuck E. Cheese or something, right? You don't have enough tokens or tickets or whatever for the prize you really want. So you could save those tickets and come back another time. And I don't know if that's how it works. If you can save the tickets, or if they're different every day. I don't know. I'm not like a Chuck E. Cheese overseer. But it's sort of like, oh, well, I'm here now and I don't want to save them for next time because then I'm going to leave empty-handed this time. And that could be a representation, that could be like a metaphor for life cycles. So maybe that's the life cycle that you were in before with this person. And that's what you have overcome, or what your duty, your divine duty is is to overcome that so that you can come into union this cycle. Now again, all divine unions are twin flames, but not all twin flames come to divine union. It's really up to the individual with their free will if they want to save those tokens and come back for the prize that they actually want, right? Which is going to take patience. It's going to take saving. It's going to take discipline. So there could be a little lack of discipline here. They could be, indulging, drinking. Fixed signs are notorious. Well, actually, all shadow aspects are in this world are of every sign is kind of known to indulge. But fixed signs can really be in that. Ooh, okay. King of Swords. King of Swords. So I was getting that Queen of Swords, King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. Now they can be very great business partners, but there's not a lot of passion in that connection. So this person is sending out the Knight of Wands. So it's kind of like if they're an emperor, right, which they must be to deal with an empress. Excuse me. They have access to all of the kingdoms. They are all the kings. They are all the elements. They are all the modalities. There they go. See if they'll chill out for a minute. I'm gonna go get them. All right, I did turn the heater on just for a second, so I'll speak up. So the King of Swords could be, all right, they are maybe not that warm, but the Emperor has access and all the tools. They're the divine alchemist, right? The Empress and the Emperor are both divine alchemists. They have all of the resources of all the kingdoms at their disposal, at their luxury, at their, for their divine purpose. So you could be dealing with an air sign. All right, there's that Libra and Aquarius again. It could also be a Gemini, but I'm just not getting Gemini here. The King of Swords is someone who's very logical. They're very much in their head. They're very much in their air and their swords. They can get into a place. The King of Swords is usually balanced and direct in their thoughts and their communication, which can feel very cold. But that sort of like Eight of Swords, right, the shadow aspect of everything, could be that this person who's very logical is kind of overthinking, right? Sable, can you lay down, please? My little tap dancer. Thank you, baby. Yeah, you're lovely. So yeah, the King of Swords, and there's that. It could be because they are a King of Swords. If they're approaching even energetically, maybe you've never had a outright discussion or any kind of interaction with this person in the 3D, but even in the 5D, if they're energetically approaching the Empress, it can bring that Queen of Swords to the forefront, to be like on guard, or like, okay, well, this is the language that we're speaking, so let me get up here and I'll do the negotiating, right? But the Empress needs all of it, right? So it's like we have the 5 love languages, but and one may be at the forefront, right? Maybe it's gift giving, maybe it's quality time. Sable, lay down. Thank you. Right, so it's like maybe this person speaks like a King of Swords, but with the 5 love languages, it's like you still need all of them, right? You can't just give someone quality time and not words of affirmation or anything like that. You need to speak all the languages, and that's what the Emperor and the Empress do, is they speak all the languages. And so it's like the masculine is figuring out, they're using their logic, they are intellectual, they are logical, they are intelligent, right? It's like they have a high IQ, but maybe their EQ and their NQ is just a little bit behind, right? And so it's they're sending the Knight of Wands, they're sending this Knight of Pentacles, they're sending Earth and Fire, they're sending more grounded, warming situation, right? Like, because fire needs kindling. And so it's like they're coming in, and if there's literally a lack of funds, maybe they think that that's going to matter, but it doesn't matter. Maybe specifically the feminine is a millionaire, or they are very wealthy, but it doesn't matter if they are or not. That's not what they really need, right? Maybe they've been with other masculines who had a lot of money, but they didn't have the warmth, right? They didn't have the silliness. They didn't have the unconditional love, right? Maybe it was very like tit for tat, and maybe it's actually a deal breaker or a turn off to this feminine to be around someone who's, wrapped up in the tangible all the time, right? So it's like this. I feel like the masculine, the divine masculine here is figuring out how to speak the love language of this divine feminine. They're sending in their knights, they're sending in their soldiers from other kingdoms, right? Because it's like they've made treaties with all the other kingdoms. Emperors and empresses have done the traveling around, they've visited all the other kingdoms and queendoms, and they have them as allies, right? And so it's like they're sending in their allies, they could be outsourcing with friends or family, they could be researching online, like ways to soften their approach, words to use, like maybe they're learning a new language. This could literally be a language barrier. But there is some sort of, they want to make sure that their communication, the message that they send, is going to be warm and inviting, right? Could be an invitation to something. But to clarify, the 5 of Pentacles, this lack, this fear mentality, is the Empress. As the Empress. The Empress is waiting. The Empress is looking at this King of Swords. The King of Swords is looking directly ahead. It's like, which could also be like the masculine could be distracted and looking at other things. They could be on a path that is very much fixed, but it could be a shadow aspect, right? So there's multiple stories going on here for multiple people, and that could also be like where they were, these were the struggles, and they're coming together in this and this tower at the bottom here. can't really shuffle very well. Oh, this is a lot, but I'll just take a look. So we have the King of Wands in Strength, so that's Leo energy. There's that King of Wands coming into... I feel like this reading is more for the feminine Leo, right? Because we have all of these wands. That's the love language of Leo, is wands, and that would be this cold king, that ice, that natty ice is natty ice baby. Oh, it's Vanilla Ice's, I don't know Vanilla Ice's sign. I thought it might come to me, but maybe Vanilla Ice has a sign that it makes sense to you. But yeah, it's like this, I feel like this King of Swords, and there were multiple storylines, so maybe you're dealing with two people, right? Maybe you're dealing with multiple people. That's usually how it is whenever you come into divine union. You always have something from the past or some previous cycle that you need to break, and that's this Eight of Wands is breaking a cycle. Eights are cycles, right? The infinity symbol is also the symbol of Leo and the Magician. So it's using all of your tools that you have in your toolbox to break a cycle and create a new cycle. Because the Magician manifests, the Magician creates. But to create, there must be a death, there must be an ending. So maybe this Empress was waiting for somebody who was very cold and distant and all in their head. Maybe they were very smart, maybe they had a lot of money, but they were looking at other options. Like, they always treated this Empress like an option, and maybe that put the Empress, the divine feminine, into a place of being very cold, right? Because you know, when you break up with somebody, you sort of inherit some of the traits that they have, and it seems ironic, like that you kind of behave like the person that you just broke up with for, and you're behaving in the way that they behave that made you break up with them, or that caused the breakup, one way or another. Whether they broke up with you or you broke up with them, or it just dissolved, or however it works. It's like you kind of inherit that sort of thing as a reaction. And when you are when you're a divine cycle breaker, you're empathic. So, empaths inherit a lot of energy from those around them, whether they like it or not. The key is to recognize what is your energy and what is the energy of others. And through that realization, acknowledgement, accountability, you can shift that frequency and balance it back to yours. And so I feel like that's the work that the feminine was doing. They sort of were kicked into a place where they could have been physical abuse, that's specific, but but they it's like they could have been like pushed into a place where they were where they kind of got cold themselves. They inherited that sort of like icy nature of the other person, but now it's like they need somebody else, and that's very difficult for someone who's hyper independent and someone who has been neglected, abused, gaslit, manipulated, to acknowledge that they actually need help. They actually need somebody else. We all need people. That's what we're here for. We're a collective, we're a community, we're connected. And it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you any less independent. It doesn't mean that you don't love yourself or you're undisciplined or anything like that. Whatever this preconceived notion is that I feel that the feminine really has towards the idea of like I don't need a man, there's like this kind of like hyper independence, and society really pushes that, and I don't think that it's a benefit to love, to relationships, to connections. It's like there are options out there. Keep your options open relationships. Everything is open. It's so open. It's like if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And so Yeah, there's that turmoil there is not associated with the divine union, and the reason it's not I know that it's not associated with the divine union is because it's not divine. This is demonic. This is lower frequencies. Fives are demonic. Fives are devil energy. That's fear. When you come into a divine union, what makes it a divine union is its divine timing, and divine timing relies on the frequency of the individuals to be in a place that is without fear, that is without judgment, it's unbiased, it's unconditional, right? It's a balanced place. It's like a perfect karma, right? Okay, so we do have the King of Swords again. So with the twin flame union, the twin flame journey, you come together physically, energetically, you can interact with, well, that kind of goes into like my belief system about it, but essentially you interact with people along the way, physical vessels that represent fractions or fragments of your divine counterpart. And whether you believe that their energy is, because all of our energy is woven together, if you believe that they kind of like shape shift into these other entities, into these other vessels, or you believe that everyone is, separate from each other and they are there to just prep you, one way or another, every single person that we connect with, platonically, romantically, in career, they are there to promote growth, teach us a lesson. There is something in there that moves us closer, right? Everyone is an opportunity for us to either to stay on our path, to stay on our divine path, or they're a test to fall off that path, be deterred from that path, right? And so this like lower demonic devilish energy here, this lower frequency, could be the same exact vessel, the same exact person, right, in the 3D that you experienced before, or there's something about your divine counterpart that was laced into those people that taught you how to love yourself unconditionally, that taught you, as the feminine I'm speaking to, because I really feel that this is more for the feminine. And if you relate to the masculine, then you've done a lot of work to warm yourself up, because you've got the King of Swords here twice. So again, that could be an air sign, like a double confirmation of an air sign, but they're coming in as the King of Wands. They're sending their King of Wands. It's like maybe they sent that Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands can be just sort of casual, here for a good time, not a long time, right? So maybe you had an experience with this same person, or you had an experience with someone that had the potential, right? You fell for the potential. There were fragments or something, facets about that person, because it is like a light prism. It's like there was some sort of refracted light about them that didn't work out. You obviously didn't come into the divine union, but it was part of your twin flame journey. That person geared you towards returning to self and returning to your natural light. And so this person is coming in. Again, I feel like there's multiple stories here. This could be the exact same physical person. They've gone away, twin flame journey, you come together, you trigger each other to change, you go your separate ways. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, this is my twin flame, so they just put in all the work into the other person, instead of realizing that it's not ever going to be divine if you do that. You must go your own separate ways and put that work into yourself. right? Because the only way that you can align truly is if your frequency is not codependent on the other, right? We need each other, but we don't rely entirely on the other to keep us connected with ourselves, to keep us loving ourselves. If you need somebody else to love you so that you can love yourself, what is that? Eat, pray, love. I don't need to love you so that I love myself, or to prove that I love myself. There is this separation. Again, however you view that, because I feel like there's some sort of like discrepancy or misunderstanding or confusion around the idea of a twin flame journey, because maybe you dealt with a false twin, or a karmic cycle, like a karmic soulmate. They look very similar, and I believe that that is the case because that's actually your person working through, right? Because we're just here. Like these vessels are so temporary. It's really the energy, the light. We are light beings, right? But we're in this like cave. We're in these little like, terrestrial vessels that just contain us for such a temporary time. And so we can shift, just like we share energy, and we can shift the energy of someone else just by smiling at them, and then they smile, and then their energy is shifted. When you're talking about a divine union or a twin flame journey, I believe that that shift can be so, it's almost like a possession, right? So anyway, I'll get off of that because I don't know that that's actually going to clarify anything for anybody. I think that might just make things more confusing, but for somebody out there that makes sense, and that needed to be said as like a confirmation for them. That's that you've dealt with. Maybe you dealt with somebody of the same sign, same name. Maybe they looked similar. There was something superficial about them that maybe is very similar, and that's why you were attracted to them. That's why you were drawn to them, because there was something in them from your person. Maybe they know each other. Maybe your ex and your twin flame know each other somehow, or have interacted somehow, and it's like Fallen with Denzel Washington, where they touch each other and then it's time is on my side. Yes, it is. So it's like divine timing. It's like they've been I feel like the masculine is kind of like a bodiless entity, like an angelic presence that's been sort of working through other vessels to get to you, and it's like they've been like touching other people, interacting with other people to get to a place where they can come and melt your heart space. That's like, I don't know, that was like very heavy, but we've got the Seven of Cups again. A lot of confirmations, a lot of mirroring here. Confirmation that this is your twin. Could be a Pisces here with the fish and the moon on the cups. But the Seven of Cups, yeah, and a Pisces. And Pisces is mutable. There's that mutable sign again. Pisces is mutable, which is air and water, right? And so they could have just been more in their air aspect, and they have water. They have that feminine, aspect to themselves that just maybe wasn't nurtured. So they were very cold and distant from something that they experienced. This is not their reading though, so but yeah, we have Strength in King of Wands, so that is very much the there could be a cross watcher. Maybe you are cross watching for a Leo, because I do feel like there's this sort of, we have the Page of Swords and we have the King of Swords. There's somebody is watching. This could be the masculine with the King of Swords here. I would say that I get more of the masculine is watching the feminine. And they're trying to get it right. They're trying to get this message right. We have the Two of Cups. So, yeah, Two of Cups. I was going to say, it looks like the Lovers, and it's the Two. So, there is some Gemini energy there. But it's the Lovers is coming together. Two of Cups is coming together. And again, whenever you have that opportunity to come together, you always have a test. You always have a past connection. You always have somebody that looks like they could be it. To kind of, to just sort of, and that is Temperance, right? Sagittarius, that's a season we're in. It's a way of making sure, it's like fortifying your blade to make sure that you are willing to cut out what doesn't serve you. And that's the discernment that comes from the discipline of fixed energy. So discernment is that mutable energy. This could all be, you know, these modalities or these signs that I'm referencing. These could be parts of your chart, your path. That's how the elements and the zodiac work. You know, we all have our chart and our internal thermostat. Can you tell I'm cold? We all have our internal solar system that we're working through, that we are phasing through, we're leveling up through. Okay, Nine of Pentacles to clarify the Nine of Cups, the Emperor to clarify the Empress, and the Two of Cups to clarify that Eight of Wands. These are coming. And we have the Queen of Cups and Three of Cups. So there is that offer to celebrate, to come together. You know, the Queen of Swords really protects the Queen of Cups. 46 on the clock there. There's a lot of mirroring. We've got the Two of Cups twice. We've got the Emperor finally like coming out of that King of Swords, that cold, that retracted, that fearful, sort of very guarded place into, all right, I'm ready to warm you up. And there's three little, you know, goblins, little hobgoblins there with them, which is like Three of Cups here. So they're coming in to warm the vessel, right? They're coming in to warm the feminine's vessel and they've created a nurturing place. Yeah, there's a lot of Empress energy here with the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. This is like Empress energy again. This is earth and water. This is feminine. So it's like that independent energy. And with the Empress here twice, it's like the Empress is ready. The feminine is ready and has been ready for a while. So if you're the masculine, like, now's the time. Make your move. It doesn't have to be perfect, because you're divine counterparts. You're perfect for each other. You know, so you have enough. You are enough. Maybe like do a couple affirmations and then be the fool and just jump off, because that's all the Empress needs. The Empress is independent. The Empress can, like, you know, take care of themselves. They don't need, they're not codependent on you as the masculine to, you know, be everything for them, do everything for them, right? They need, in the 3D, they need someone to nurture the 5D. That's what the Emperor does. They protect, the masculine protects the Empress. The masculine protects the divine feminine so that the divine feminine can nurture and nourish the 5D frequency of the connection. We all have masculine and feminine within us, but the divine masculine, divine feminine, in their truth, in their divine alignment as individuals, is, you know, the masculine leads and protects and pursues, right? So this individual here, if this is you, the masculine, I feel like a marriage counselor or something. Like, both of you are right here in front of me, and I'm talking to both of you like, well, maybe the Empress, you know, needs to be heard here. It doesn't sound to me like the Empress is saying that she needs you to make a certain amount of money. So it's like some sort of projected insecurity that the masculine has is stifling this connection. It's prolonging the inevitable. right? Like everything is mirrored here. It's the Divine Feminine is ready. They're not codependent on you. Queen of Swords popping out. And the Hierophant. All right, so that's Taurus energy again. And then with the Queen of Swords, which is like Libra and Aquarius. More Empress energy. Yeah, more and more confirmations. The Divine Feminine is ready and ripe for the picking. So, masculine, I'm gonna Jerry Seinfeld here and say, snap out of it, right? Whatever this perceived fear you have is, like, all it's doing is it's you know, this guarded thing that you have with your heart. Like, you have to be able to be foolish and just make an ass of yourself and do something that is unexpected, and take that leap of faith, right? Because if you don't, then the feminine energetically is going to feel that and go, oh, okay, well, they're not ready, so I guess I'm just on my own again. And so they're going to become more independent. They're going to be more reluctant to open up, right? It's like you're scaring them back into their hermit hole. Just which, again, you can influence the energy of others. You can shift the energy of those around you. And with your twin flame, you're very much connected. And so if you don't offer some warmth to them and offer something playful and inspiring and offer some passion and levity to their situation, then they're just going to get heavier and heavier. It's like you guys are in the connection. It's like you're in a relationship already. You're already divinely married, right? So, you know, and with all the Empress confirmation here, I don't feel like the Empress or the feminine is impatient or angry. I don't feel like there's any sort of, I feel like they're just like, okay, I guess I'm gonna keep going, doing what I'm doing. Like, they're ready. They're ready. They have grace to offer you. They're ready to nurture. They're ready to forgive if you did have any sort of falling out or, you know, any sort of like butting of the heads in real life, whatever that is. In the 3D, if you had some sort of physical interaction or altercation, not physical like abuse, but, you know, something in the physical realm. And there's any fear around, they're ready to forgive you. They're like, I don't know what else to say. The feminine is ready. So if that's the confirmation you needed as the masculine, there it is. Shoot your shot. That's the season we're in. We're in Temperance. We're in the Archer. All right. Cupid. Shoot your shot. Because they need like a flaming arrow shot right at their heart. Because the feminine is like, has this their beautiful warmth that they are willing to, that they have. It's not even necessarily a willingness. It's they have this beautiful warmth that they will envelop the connection with, and you will move and shift the collective together with this divine purpose. But there is a need to take that leap of faith. So I feel like I'm just repeating myself here. So hopefully there was something in here for one or both of you. And yeah, until next time, I wish you well.